Okay, good morning guys. Bankrollgrind here for 360-man sit and goes today. So we will dedicate today to sit and goes 360-man turbo. So I'll try to give some insight of the game. We're going to do that in Poker Stars. We'll see all in, we're going to call this all in with Queen 10. I'm going to be folding 3-4 here. This player is playing very aggressively, so I'm going to note that. I'm going to be 3-betting Ace-Jack suited here, and I'm going to 3-bet to 120, so to discourage this player just overlimped against the under the gun limp. We have a caller, second caller. We flop 3 jacks against 2 players. There's some draws there. I will be c-betting this board. I'd say half pot should be a bit above the half pot, so I'm trying to build a pot. You got a set of jacks. The bet here. I'm gonna fold here. I'm going to limp 4s. I recommend to limp 4s here. Deuces through 5s. You can limp easily 4s. Rather than open, there's a limp. You limp behind. This guy now raises, so 4s against Ace Queen and Ace King, which just doesn't do well. So we're going to fold here. It jams 21, 42 big blinds. Ace-6, I'm not going to call that. Although I might be ahead of his range often enough, but he could have like Ace-Queen, Ace-Jack. I would say 70% of the time, so which we will not do well against that range. And we would ahead of his range, like I predicted, but we would have lost, obviously, to a flush, Queen-Jack. King Queen in big blinds, very strong hands. Depends if any of this player limps. I'm definitely gonna be seeing a flop. 5, 7, 10. We don't have any suit to cover, so we're just gonna start with a check. We have 2 overcards. He bets 40. We're definitely calling here for 2 overcards, and we are now check folding on this turn. We didn't improve on a turn. We have 6 outs. So it's about 20%. I do get that 20%, so I should be calling, but I think the best is to fold here due to the straight completion there. All peoples will float and bet, and with a 6x type of hand, even with 2 pair, connects a lot with their ranges, so we're just going to fold. Folding king 8 here. At 5-6 we have to fold here. Doesn't play well post flop, so we're going to fold. Fours in late position. I'm not willing to shove 44 big blinds with just fours, but if it comes down to these two players, I probably will be priced in because of their ranges to call a shove. And they have a very wide range as well, so it bets 150, so we're going to have implied odds here, so we're going to just try to spike a 4. So we're going to call 100 to win 400, so we're getting 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1, which is now I have to call. Get the right odds to flop a set, but as we don't hit the 4, so we're just going to fold. Some straight draws now and floats just got there. Some of the floats that we see will improve here as well in this turn. And kings will take it down. And we have a break for 5 minutes. I will take the break and I'll be right back. See you in a second. Stay tuned. Right, we'll be starting in about a minute. Meanwhile, if you don't follow the community, please, below you have a panel called the community. Just press the link, and it's Bankrollgrind community. So we'll provide some poker insight, as well as coaching, as well as many other features that you can explore. And also you can sign Discord for free and be part of the community and go from there and improve your game. So we started, we have ace-8, we have 40 big blinds, so there's no point to panic yet. So we have 40 big blinds, still fairly deep. From this particular position, I think we should fold ace-8. I'm going to be folding king 6 here. Check this, not going to be played. Okay, we've been moved tables. We have 8-7 here. It plays well post flop, so as a min raise, we're going to complete here with the monies already in the pot. It's not a great flop for me, so I'm just going to fold. I'm going to fold 3-9. Limp in the raise, Queen 8, we're going to be folding in position. Piggery56, thank you very much for your follow. Appreciate that. A lot of action in this board. Ace-3 wins. Get 22 big blinds, so pocket fours. Well, I have 12 big blinds now. I think for 12 big blinds, the pocket fours, we have to shove here. And I'm going to be shoving pocket fours. We're going to run into hands like Ace-10, Ace-Queen, Ace-Jack, King-Queen suited, Queen-Jack suited, but we have a pair and 11 big blinds, 12 big blinds, so I'm going to just shove here. It's absolutely fine, and we get it through. And also we are in late position as well, so we're definitely opening here. We're going to mean open, King-Queen suited, and calling shoves from late position especially. And we have two players sitting out, so basically our hand is very strong at this stage. And here we're just gonna move all in with our King-Queen. Against a flush draw, we just need to fade clubs, and we do, and we double up. You will have worse kings and some nines there, so in his range, or Ace-9 and things like that. So the jam here, that is perfectly fine. I'm going to fold the S6. Going to be folding 9-7 here. Pocket aces wins. Unlucky for ace queen suited, good hand to show, and just unfortunately run into a better pair, or better hand in this case. With this action, 9-3 going to be folded. We're not going to complete here, although this is a hand that plays pretty well post flop, and I'm just going to fold. I want to be in a better position to sort of flat hands like that, and my stack 32 big blinds is very vulnerable to play speculative hands like Queen 10 offsuit. We're going to be folding 3-10 here. This play is very loose, but my problem is the one behind. I don't know anything about him, so I'm just going to flat here. Good position in them too. We'll see. Okay, flop. It does connect with a lot of the limping ranges, so I have to be very careful here. Although I have a gut shot to the jack. When it jams here, we have to fold, unfortunately. We can't just call with 2 overs and a gut shot. If he has a pair, we will be still drawing to 10 outs, which is pretty decent. But if this 10 was a heart, I definitely will be calling with King Queen. Sort of playing a bit more conservative with this hand here. King Jack. And he opens again. So I don't know really what this means, but King Jack doesn't play well against under the gun +2, +1 ranges, so we're going to fold. And we see flat and the button just 3 bets. I would assume the button has a strong range. It's a 3 bet or 3 bet squeeze here. We will see what he decides to do. He just calls with ace jack. He has pocket queens. Queens will take it down with the set. I got 2 plays sitting out, so 1, 2, 3 plays to go through. I think I'm just gonna start with the raise here with Queen 10. I was thinking to shove here, but I think the best option is just to call. And he 3 bets me again for 187 chips more. This is a hand that plays well post flop. We don't call 4 bets here, but we can definitely call this bet here and be checking a flop. So we flop a 10, we're going to check jam here. I think he will have worse hands, so I'm going to check jam here all in. He has pocket 8s. Just need to fade it 2 8s, and we do. We double up again. So all the players there have the color in sort of a magenta pink. We will be calling quite wide for them because obviously they are looser players. The ones in red we have to pay attention, and we're going to play a bit more conservative, like this play here. It's quite a tight player, so we're going to play a different game against him, or different selection of hands. Going to be folding Queen 5. $126 players left with 32nd position at the moment, so 36 places get paid. So we're improving our stack slowly, but for no means our stack is anything healthy. So we're going to be aggressive, of course, in good spots. I already registered another tournament just in the background because obviously this is a turbo, goes really fast. So we're going to fold Queen 9. We're going to be folding here, King 10. Pocket 7s win, and the player is now out. Five Jack, we're not going to do anything with this in a small blind. Will be a pretty big mistake to try to protect against that. And he limps again. This hand doesn't play well against even limping ranges, so we're just going to fold. Queen 3, we will be passing this hand, of course, although we have position, but shoving here I'll be gonna be called. I mean, we have folding equity, but I don't think I should be jamming that hand. So we got 18 big blinds, so we are in a threshold of push fold, and we're going to choose the right hands to do so, at least the ones with more equity. So I'll check how many players still there. 110. So already faded 3/4 of the field. Most likely I will go ahead with this hand. We got 16 big blinds here. Especially if this player here, Lady Axe 777 opens or limps, definitely gonna squeeze jam on him. And we have a sitting out player on a big blind, so pretty easy jam there. And we collect another 1,320 chips, which is 1/5 of my stack, which is pretty important. It's important to be aware of situations like that and not try to be cute with hands like that. So this is very micro stakes, so people will not understand the push fold ranges, and we have to take advantage of that. And limping ranges, obviously their limping ranges are pretty wide, so we will have that in mind. So this player now decides to jam about 32 big blinds. Pretty strong. He has two players sitting out as well. Effectively, he's putting only 16 big blinds at risk. So half of his stack. 9-6. 9-6 is okay to shove if you have under 8 big blinds. With my stack 16 big blinds, I think the fold is the best option there. Folding king 7 here. Right, we have other tournament that just popped up. In case this one, we bust this one. We'll try not to, but we'll see. So 93 people, we're in 35th position. And you're gonna carry on battling for the first prize and try to win the tournament. So top 100 in a field like this is pretty good. Obviously, you are in the top 100. Means you will do a lot of late finishes. Now the important thing in the late finishes is how to finish the tournament, and this is the situations here when you are like 18, 19 big blinds, 12 big blinds, 14 big blinds, that you need to know your push fold game very well. But situations like that will always happen and you need to be aware of that. So we're down to 10 tables because we've been moved, meaning the tables are auto-balancing, so it means that 10 tables now have 9 players, so we are, full ringed again. Uh, 10-6, we're going to be folding here. Ace-8 will take it down. Five and a 6, we will be folding with this action behind us. Folding to 6. We are with 12 big blinds now, but we are too far away from the button, and with hands like that they're not going to flop well at all, so we're going to be folding. We're not going to defend those 4 here. We can see flops with this, that's fine. Just 4. I'm going to be betting here with a pocket deuce. You might have missed this flop. So we're going to try to get these chips here in the middle, which are very important at this stage for me. And we take it down. So kind of a tightish player. I mean, he just jumped 10s before. We did all this action here. Ace-3 is not going to do well, so we're going to fold, especially in out of position against 3 players. So we just let it go. We'll find better spots. 74 players left out of 360. So to do a final table comfortably, you need around 12.5 to 15,000 chips, and you most likely, if you don't make any mistakes, you will be reaching final table. So we are half of that, but anything can happen in a couple of hands, so we will just be patient and play the best game we can. But if we don't have any hands, there's not much we can do about it. We will need to get creative somehow. And when players like this behind have this sort of stack, and 10-5 is not going to do well, so we're just going to fold there. Despite flopping a flush draw, and there could be better flush draws there, and we're just not going to do well. So when they all check now, I mean, there's another flush draw coming on board, so I expect to see a bit more aggression now. Some straight draws, completion like ace-4, 4-6. Someone could have limped 4-6 suited. At this stage is not, at this level is not something unique. But a lot of these people have like a 5 or a 3, a queen in their ranges. So, and we see a 5. Uh, 10 big blinds, 6-7, and it's a pretty decent hand. And we're gonna jam here, 6-7 with 10 big blinds. We cannot wait. If I don't jam 6-7 with 10 big blinds, next round I will have 6 big blinds. So, and then you will jam things like 7-5 or stuff like that. So I don't have an ICM pressure on me, so I'm short stacked. So we're gonna jam hands that we believe have post flop playability and can flop well. So despite that, we still have a little bit of folding equity as well. So there's no ICM pressure here. If you let these hands go like that, so then you will be in a short end of your stick, and that's not going to be good. 9-5 doesn't play well, so we're going to just fold. And important is to know where do I do those things from, from always late position or from early position. Unless I have like 2 big blinds, then I will just chop any 2 cards from whatever position. I'll be choosing hands with 2 big blinds that they're not connected to normally what people will raise with. So with 2 big blinds, hands like that most likely will not be dominated by the same cards. So meaning the other players will not share the same cards as you, because they normally will tend to call like king queens and queen jacks and jack tens and jack nines and whatnot, ace tens. So we have 2 live cards which we can spike 6 outers and 1. So basically that's the thought process. Queen 4, we're going to fold here. I'm going to see a flop with a speculative hand. We're going to check here. We have backdoor straights and backdoor flush draws as well to go with our hand. Stoily 1, is this 10 cent 360? Yes, it is. This is a bankroll challenge, and I will have to fold here now. I still have 2 players to act ahead of us. We only share 6, and you could already have 2 pair here, limping 7-6, 7-5, things like that. So it's a bankroll challenge from $6 to as much as we can do in sit and goes, 360 man. We're exclusively going to play 360 man, nothing else. We have a good hand here, pocket aces with 10 big blinds. We hope to see a raise that will be perfect, so we can squeeze all in. And all these players, there's about 3,000 chips already there. I only have 6,000, so I'm basically putting all my chips in the middle now. And I will be called by short stacks, of course. And we have to fade some stuff here, and we do. We win another 6,000, so we're up to 10,000. And that's one player, so there's only 58 left. 36 get paid. We are up onto 20th place. We're going to be folding here in position. The reason the shove works is because there was a short stack and there was already almost $4,000 in middle, so clearly the aces should be a jam there for maximization of your hand. We're going to be folding 8-6 here. Ace King takes it down, and we've been moved again, so we should be 52, 54 players left. Flush draw will win against a set if the board is in pair, which it happens. King 7, I'm going to be folding here. We have 10 big blinds again, so we need to think about our life and tournament. There's about 16 places left before we reach the money. Obviously, the top bit is where it matters. The top 6, from top 9, you know, you're still getting already 6 times your buy-in and stuff like that. So it's very important to think about that strategy as well. Kings against ace jack, you only can spike a jack or a spade, and a full house will take it down. And ace 7 with 10 big blinds. From this position, I think if I jam, I'm going to be called very easily here, so we're going to decide and fold. 6-5 folding here at the table. Okay, there's 14 players left now, so before we reach the money. So it's important in bankroll challenges, min cashes, because obviously you get your buy-in back and one more buy-in. So we need to be aware as well of that. And sometimes it's important to make the cash so you can keep obviously your bankroll afloat and, you know, keep grinding daily. At some point you will win a couple of tournaments that will boost your bankroll and so forth. So that's the whole idea. It is a big grind because obviously I start only with $6. I want to attempt with 60 buy-ins to the turbos, so which is pretty tight bankroll, but we definitely can do it. So 13 players left. We're going to start bit tanking here quite a lot. Blind's getting more expensive now. And obviously there's a lot of people shorter than I am. We're going to check C flop. Very nice flop for us. And he leads out, which is pretty interesting. We've got a flush draw here. And a straight draw to go with it, with a 9. So I think at this stage we're going to move all in here. That's way too many outs to fold, and we make guys folding like Queen Jack, so which is pretty good. So we increase our stack here, 14th place. You have to play aggressive, otherwise you're going to be blind out. So I'm gonna fold this hand here. Although he's kind of a loose passive player, this guy Florin 05, but I think the best option with Ace-8 here, which is a hand I will have to 3-bet with and commit a lot of chips, and then with 10 spots left I think it's best to just pass on. And I'm not closing the action either, so still one player to act. Gotta be following you. Obviously as king we're not going to be folding. You have 10 big blinds, we're going to jam all in here. We might bubble here, but with 6 spots to the money. Ace King is way too strong to just fold, unless something like jam happens. So I'm not planning to fold this hand. Too strong. And even if we bubble here, it's absolutely fine. So I can also raise fold still and wait for 6 spot. But then again, I will lose a lot of. Definitely we're gonna jam over this guy here. We're gonna be somehow ahead of his range. Sometimes you could have some pairs like 5, 6, or 7s, but we'll still have Ace King, which is very strong hands, obviously. We're gonna jam here over this guy. So effectively, we're putting less chips over risk. We're not gonna. It can't be bust. Just need to fade, and we take it down another big pot. So now with 25,000 chips, well 31,000 altogether, which put us in 3rd position and 2 spots of the money. So the money is guaranteed at this stage. So we're going to play aggressively with our chips, of course, but not with the 3 deuce. Ace King takes it down. We are hand for hand now. So 1 spot away from the money. Someone busts, we make the money. That's the first objective in sit and goes. Folding 5-7 here. Yeah, open-ended here. We're going to call 1 time. And we're going to fold to the bet on this turn with our open-ender. King 3 going to be folding here. A lot of action here. Folding the queen and the 4. Blinds are up again, so we have now 13 big blinds. So we have secured 24 cents, which is 2 buy-ins, almost 2.5 buy-ins. Next per jump is at 27th, so which doesn't make a lot of difference. So payouts that start interesting in this tournament is when you reach top 12, 12, 15, start adding 4, 5, 6, 8, and 11 buy-ins. So that's where we will attempt to reach. So we can have more buy-ins to play more sit and go. So that's accumulating your buy-ins. That's how you build your bankroll in sit and goes. So we'll do our best to get there, of course. King Jack against sevens, and sevens will win. And we see again a lot of action here. See a jam again for a lot of big blinds, so just gonna fold here. We have 2.5 buy-ins already locked down, but we still have a fair bit of chips, so we're gonna buy 11 big blinds. 4 deuce we're going to be folding. We're going to be opening this hand here for sure. We're going to 3-bet call if someone jams. Very strong hand, queens. If someone calls, I mean, whatever board comes, I will jam. Obviously, we're going to call here. It's not a great board, but we still have jacks and hearts that we can hit. Not a great position to be in. We have to fold, unfortunately. We can't win this hand at all, but I'm gonna fold here. Right, it was unfortunate that, but we're still alive, 8,000 chips, so we still can make a comeback. So I'll take a break, and when I'm back, we're gonna try to grind that up again. I'll see you in a bit. Take the break and press your follow buttons, and as well join our community, which you can see below the panel. Below the stream there's a panel with community link, so I'll be right back.
with trees? Well, we could survive without trees because we all originate from trees. Trees are our ancestors. Yes.
Right, we're back. We're about a minute away or so to start. It was unfortunate that Queen hands. With that board, there's no way when that guy calls my 2.8 3-bet. Well, 2.5, 5, 7, 3.5 3-bet. He has a very strong range. So when that board hits, it saved me all my chips because it was a lower board. I would have jammed on him anyway, so we would have lost that anyway. But you know, in that board, when he calls that 3.5 3-bet, it is a pretty strong range, so it's unfortunate, but it has happened. So we just need to pick up ourselves, and we have 8,000 chips still, and we're gonna try to grind it up. So we have less than three big blinds left, so 3-5 gonna fall, and we still have another, not even another orbit, but 3, 4, 5, 7. We are very, very short here. We have to do something quickly, and looks like we're gonna only have cash for 2.5 buy-ins. But nevertheless, is an extra buy-in, so we can play one more tournament. We followed the winner here. Maybe not now. We split with all the 5s in the deck. King Jack takes it down, big pot, big blind, big stacks in a war. Jack deuce, we will have to fold. Maybe not, maybe yes. Yeah, we'll have to fold the Jack deuce, unfortunately. We are very short, so it is a big problem now when we've lost a hand with queens. But that's how poker rolls sometimes. I think I played the hand well, but unfortunately, obviously, the guy woke up with a better hand and put us in a very difficult position now. We're going to be calling any jams with Queen 7 suited here. We have two big blinds and something. So Queen 7 will have to be the hand, we have to go with it. And against Ace King, my hand is still has 27%, so we're definitely going to go with it. It's not folding anymore, but we have to go with it. Queen 7. We are dominated here, but we flop a 7, which is good. We just need to hold, and we do. Mel 7307, hi, good luck. Thank you very much, Mel 7307. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the challenge. So we're back to 10th with 16,000 chips now. We just double up with Queen 7. Jack 4. If he's followed to me, we're going to jam on this guy. We're effectively putting 8,000 chips at risk. But I think there's a lot of value in the middle for me to pass this hand. We just need a Jack or a 4. A Jack will be perfect. No, it doesn't happen, so it's fine. It will happen, but it's definitely a spot that you want to shove hands there. In blind on blind situation for sure. Could have an argument to fold, but I cannot make. I need to make chips. We're definitely jamming this hand here. And if someone raises, we definitely 8-5 has about 30% equity in the pot, so we're going to just jam that. Going to push our edge, and he still can fold. He can call light here because he's 10,000 chips. As you probably can see, we're dominating him. 5 deuce. It's not a good card, and we're back again. Don't understand this at all, but we're going to jam again. 17,000 is very short, so obviously we want to get his chips, and we've been jamming like 3 times in a row, so I will get less credibility, if that makes sense. But he's so short, he's going to call with any 2 cards, and we have pocket aces, so we have 92% chance of winning the spot. If we hold, obviously there's still bad cards to come. 3 deuce, he flops a 3, and he's out, and with 29 again. So that's the spots you really need to find, and you know, when it happens, it's great, obviously, and if not, well, you're out of the tournament. But we're still with a fighting chance here, so we have a couple more spots to go to make 3.5 buy-ins. So we're going to play the best we can. Been moved. 2 tables left. Folding for 8. I'm going to be folding king 5 here. Storyal 1, a limp aces. I don't limp aces at all. With their stack sizes, I prefer to take the initiative myself with aces. I don't, you know, sometimes limping with aces you're gonna get 3 people at least to call, and against 3 people with hands like 7-6, 3-5, Jack Queen, and hands like that, you know, they have quite a bit of equity and take a lot of equity off the pot to me. So I prefer, because the guy was so short, to just jam there. I think that's the most profitable, and I've been jamming. I jammed 3rd hand in a row, so people will not believe me and probably call me light. We have a deuce 5 here. We don't want to see a cheap flop, but obviously right now we don't want to see. So we have 3.5 buy-ins locked out again. Limping aces also works when you very deep stacks and you want, you know, someone that's very aggressive that normally re-raises the limpers. So I don't have that information, so what's the point of limping aces? I don't think that's profitable. Not at this stage of the game. I don't mind limping aces in early position, early stage of the game either, so it's just, I don't see why should I limp there. There was no reasons for that. But I understand where you're coming from, someone to jump on top. The guy was so short, I mean, regardless, he will jump to any 2 cards, so either way we will get the same result. We're not going to call here with 6-3. Two and a half big blinds, but I've got a jack deuce here, so I'm not loving that. But we're not getting any hands either, so There's not much I can do about that. I'm definitely jamming here, my fours. I'm effectively putting 2,500 chips at risk. And I still have folding equity here with my stack against these stacks, not against the big stack and this one as well, but likely they will fold due to their positions. Pocket four is very strong against one big blind, half a big blind shove here, so we're going to go for it. Yes, pocket threes. He has hearts to go with it, but we managed to fade the hearts. Which is fine. So 30,000 now. Gonna fold this 6. So 13 players left. So currently we have 4 big blinds locked up, 4 buy-ins locked up. So right, we are on the final table now. This is the final table. So King 4 is a good jam there, but 6-9 takes it down. There we are, final table now. We have very shallow stack here, so pocket fives. I'm jamming pocket fives here. We need to get chips, so if I manage to get this double up, so then we are in a good position to for the first place. But I really need to get this through. There's 53,000 chips in the middle, so we have fives. We hit the sets. You cannot. Oh, we can do with a deuce now, but we managed to win 77,000 chips. Pocket sixes. We're open fold here. 76. Okay, gonna open fold if necessary. We call Roma 74700 a shove, of course, and this guy comes over the top for 21,000. I'm gonna call here. I'm going to check jam this flop here. It's a very good flop, not so much for him unless he has a jack itself, but he's more likely has ace queen and ace king here. So I'm going to call in. And we get rivet, unfortunately. 7-4, wow, that's pretty special. Pretty special, I would say. Yeah, there's enough. What can I do there different? That's the right move. 6 is there, is definitely a jam, and there's not much I can do there. So we have another one here. I'm going to be registering another one. unfortunately with the sixes, but you know, these things happen. That's the right move, we had the right read, but it just didn't happen. We've been too outed on the river. Falling here was 5. See a raise here, ace jack. I think I'm going to squeeze here. This guy, Arlton, 1988. It's going to have a strong range, but you know, with my stack size, I think I'm going to squeeze behind this too. It's most likely this guy could have like king queen, king jack, jack 10, queen jack, ace queen. Although I block a lot of some ace queens and ace kings, queen jacks and king jacks, so it's most likely going to be like ace king or pair. Ace 8, jack 10, we need a jack. Don't get there. Still get some chips on the side. Ace 8 is a bit too vicious, but from this position, I mean, right, I'm gonna go all in here. That's micro stakes, I'm afraid. We had the best hand, we made the right decision, and we don't fade the cards. That's nothing we can do. I cannot control the cards, only can control my actions, and my actions have been reasonably good. Flop a set, so we do win 1,000 chips here, and we have aces, which is pretty good. This is where you limp the aces in situations like that when there's 4 players ahead. And we see a raise, which is exactly what we're looking for. Hopefully we see a call, then we are more comfortable to jam there. Obviously because there's more money in the pot, so it makes more sense for me to jam on top of him. But it's already make a lot of sense to jam, so I'm going to jam here. And we hold 2000 chips here. I'm going to be limping 6s here. And we see Grant, which is a very tight player. We're not going to call that. Folding just 7 here. I'm going to fold 6-4 here, most likely. we're jamming here now. There's enough money in the pot so we can jam our set. And we take it down. Got a 3-bet here in pocket aces against another gun +1, so you'll have a strong range, so we can 3-bet slightly larger. And we flop an ace. He could have some aces, which is unlikely, but he could have like kings, and I have to call here, of course, with a set. And we win again. Folding it. In position, we're going to limp here with 50 big blinds. So we have a gut shot here, backdoor flush draws. This board hits a lot of their ranges as well, so we have to be very careful with that. And we're going to be folding with just a gut shot for outs, and might not be clean outs. A lot of people with like Queen 10, King 10 will be on it. Most likely he's saying he has a Jack here. Flush draw gets there. This 5 gets lucky. It's a set of 4s. Gonna fold the 10-4 here. I'm gonna be folding the Jack 9. Equally with Jack 5 here. Deuces win. Folding Jack 10 and again. Calling again with 10-8 in position, overcalling the limp, but flop. In position you tend to open a bit more your hands, but in this case didn't work out, so we're going to just fold against maybe 2 pair here, with a king queen. Could even have pocket sixes here. Like position, we've been given queen jack. All these players have 10 big blinds, so we're going to open here. Queen jack. The button has called us. It will have a wide calling range. We'll see an ace and a 4, so we're going to start with a bet here. We have more aces in our range than his range, so I'm going to just turn. I can't really check the turn, so I'm going to bet again. The turn is not a good card to check, otherwise I'm giving the information that I don't have the ace, so that's how you have to play. If a more favorable card like a king had hit, I could have checked, because that will be allowing his range, so we have to double barrel there, as that board doesn't hit his range at all, or less likely to hit his range. You could have an ace, ace 3, ace 2s for sure, but set of 8s will take it down. We have ace and a queen, so we're going to start with the opening here. Folding the ace and a 7. Get a wall, which is very nice. 100 players down. Not gonna call here, out of position. We have a jack and a 10. It's a 100 players well post flop, so we see a lot of limping. We're probably going to limp behind as well. In position, of course. And this guy decides now to jam, so we're not going to call with jack 10. Got a little issue here. I think you'll have to fold this jack here. It's not a good fold. But against two players, this jack is just a bit too thin. We could have called there, but I opted for a different view. Why did I play a jammed with a 6 off? Okay. We are identifying some more play styles, which is good. Gonna jam a7 here on the button. I think I'm going to jam on this guy. He's pretty wide range, so I'm going to just jam here. 7s, I got pocket 8s, I got a pair. Most likely going to be coin flipping here. Or if he has 6s or 7s, we are behind. Need an 8? No. It's fine. He did that with a wide range, so 8s, I'm definitely going to put it in with a wide range play. Just unlucky we ran into his top of his range. So you see, this is what I'm trying to say. You got king 8s and very wide range. So that's the reason I jammed the 8s there. We have about 8 big blinds. And this is perfect because now we can squeeze jam, and we're definitely going to be ahead of his limping range. So let's go for it. I think it's a good spot. I don't like this guy to come along because he normally limps with stronger ranges like 9s, kings. But it's not going to have 9s and kings all the time. So I think this is a perfectly calculated squeeze spot there. Against Jack 7. And we do win this one. In 4 minutes we have a break, so we'll be taking the break as well. Queen of 10, I don't think we can call here. Although this guy is very wide, but my hand will be dominated here against these two players way too often. So I'm going to fold here. As expected. Pocket 9's very strong hand. Against this player, we're definitely going to stick it in. 10 big blinds. We don't hold. Just a 5-minute break. We don't hold that hand, but obviously we have the best hand, so we have to go all in. And unfortunately, we don't hit. But that's fine. We still have 2,500 big blinds chips, so we can still come back. I'll take the break, and I'll be with you soon. Enjoy. We're back again. Less than a minute to start. So 2,500 chips here. So we've lost a pot with 9s against ace queen. So that's the right move with 9s. You cannot fold 9s there ever. You cannot raise fold either. So the best option there is to move all in pre-flop. Hands like ace queen will call you, but they will be drawing to hit one pair, and yeah, 9s is very strong to fold there, and I'm gonna start soon, so stay focused there. We will be trying to win this one again, second time in a row. So we'll try to, for the second time, to try to bink one of those, so it improves our bankroll, of course. Then we started here. For the 2s, we're gonna have to jam this hand. A 9-8, even with 20 big blinds, is a plus if he shove. So if it's folded down to us, we're definitely gonna put these chips in the middle. 9-8 has a lot of equity, and the blind's gonna go up, so I can't really afford the blinds anymore. So we will have to go with this. I'm okay against his high range. As I say, 9-8 is 40%, so we're gonna put that in the middle. Even with hands like ace queen, ace jack, you have a lot of equity, and most likely we'll have 2 live cards. Probably people will be folding ace and some kings and stuff like that, so we will take advantage of that. We don't have fold equity, but 9-8 is strong, so we will jam that in the middle. And hits the king on a turn, which makes us lose the tournament. We have another one here already, and we have a set, and this guy bets. We're definitely going to call here. Could have worse hands, but he does have the better one. He had the only hand that can beat us, which is fine. Gonna register another one to put in the background. This time of day they take a little while to fill, so I don't want to have like a void on the stream, so I keep one table after the other one. Ace 4 gonna be folding here. We're obviously going to 3-bet here. Some of these players will have to put the money in. I will raise an amount that there's only one move for them, which is all in. That's the correct amount. If they have to play, they have to play for all their chips now, because obviously this is they cannot just call fold anymore. And obviously we're going to jam here, and for the rest of his remaining chips we have aces. We need to fade 6, and we don't. That's fine. That's the right play. We have 80% pre-flop, 87 post-flop, 95 on a turn, 0 on the river. Very lucky play. Still have 40 big blinds, so nothing to be worried about. Folding 5-4 here, doesn't flop particularly well from late position. Ace 10 here with 9 big blinds. We're definitely gonna call any jams, especially from this player here, because I think he's a bit too loose now. Loose means in his selection of hands pre-flop. Ace 10 is a good hand, so we're gonna have to call here. He's ahead of us, but we need an ace or a 10 and we can win. And doesn't happen, so he takes it down. It's absolutely fine. We have another tournament that we are already in. We can give away to another tournament, and I will register another one. There's a lot of variance, of course, in this format of tournaments, but especially in low limits like this one. But we're doing well, it's alright, we're playing well, so it's not a problem. We will face run-outs like that and 2 outers and 3 outers like I've been running into, so we can't complain because, you know, we're making the right decisions, the right choices. Gonna open ace queen here. And we're calling this jam here. It's gonna have ace king a lot, but it's way too strong to fold this hand, so I'm gonna call. Take it down. I'm not going to defend queen 5 here, although you should be defending your big blind wide, but against 2 players I don't think I should. Ten 7 is going to be played. Very strong hand, pocket sevens. We're very deep as well. We're definitely gonna raise this one. Gonna try to isolate him here. Pocket tens. We flop a set and it's pretty much dead. And we take it down. Limping deuces here. Get raised. Okay, odds to flush here. And we're gonna fold this board. We're folding Jack deuce here with a jam from this position here. I'm gonna just flat call, sort of balance my calling range as well. Because if I have to 3-bet every time ace king, it's gonna be easy to play against me. People know always 3-betting as ace king. We've got a ball here for outs. Someone bets here could have a queen in his range, so I'm gonna be folding here. Pocket eights. Gonna flat this in position, of course. It's less likely as an ace, but I've got pocket eights. I can flat call and try to get these guys in the mix. So hopefully we can flop a set. And then we have 4 players which we can extract money from, which is better than just having 1 player. Jack deuce 9, small bets again, and he raises 300. I have to fold, so much that I cannot beat, and that's definitely in the range. I could have beat nothing there. Ace 10. Definitely coming for an open here. I'm going to start with a small bet here. Doesn't need to be too big to work. Small bets or big bets, they will all work equally well when you miss the flop. I'm going to just fold 7-9 here. So we've been on now for almost 3 hours. Gonna be opening again ace queen, of course. That's easy open. I'm gonna call here. Calling is fine with a strong hand like that. Jack 7-7. So we're gonna start with a bet. And we take it down. Blinds what up, so we're going to start reducing our opening sizing as well, because there's other players shorter than us, so give them some rope to make mistakes. We flop an ace, and there's a jack. Unlikely they can have ace jack here, so I'm going to start with a 300 bet. Hopefully get called by jack 10, king jack, at least one straight. If this guy jams, I'll have to call. He could have some ace 7 sometimes. He could have like jack 9, jack, queen jack, and king jack. King is not a good card, but I'm still going to bet one more time. Second barrel down the road, and I have to call here, I'm afraid. And he does have jack 10, which he rivers me again on the river, which is fine. So we know what he's up to, so absolutely fine, no problem. Bit strange why he just bet on a king when I raise pre-flop. I bet the flop, bet the turn. I mean, that's a recreational player move, I would say the least, and he get lucky with the 2 outer. But there's nothing to criticize the way he plays. He plays the way he thinks he should play, and we will play against the way we think is best to play. And therefore, we need people to make mistakes, otherwise we wouldn't make any money. In this tournament, obviously. And obviously he just gave the money to this guy here, as is expected. what the other guy had. He had ace queen. Overcalling with ace queen, pretty questionable. Offsuit, I mean. Folding jack 3 here. Obviously we're going to rejam here with ace 10 against 4 big blind, 4.5 big blind jam. Here's queens, needs a set, okay. Need a king, no. Okay, fair enough. Nothing I can do there. That's definitely ace 10 a jam there, and we're definitely jamming here as well with ace jack. And we don't get there. We're out with ace jack against these two hands, so I've got the best of it. Just sad, I mean king 7, ace 8 against ace jack, and they all get lucky there. There's really not much I can do there, so a new tournament is starting soon, but the decision is the right one. And while we wait for the tournament, I'm going to go to the toilet and I'll be right back, and we should be starting the next tournament very shortly. Be right back with you guys.
Dead yet?
Here we are, back again. Next tournament. And we're going to register another one. I'm going to be folding Jack 8 here. Gonna limp Queen 8 here and defend the button with Queen 8. It's absolutely fine, no point to raise here, got position on both. And we flop an 8, turn an 8 I mean. I'm gonna start with a bet here. 60% of the pot should be fine. Didn't bet the flop, didn't bet the turn, so I would assume I have the best hand here. Check, so I'm gonna check back here. And we have the best hand. It's going to be the last tournament for this session. It's been on for almost 4 hours. 3 hours, I mean. I'm gonna bet here, of course. I don't think I can fold here, so I'm gonna call. We hold. Maybe jamming here. It's Jack against this guy who just lost a big pot. I would like to play it up against him, not get a 10 and a 3, flop an ace, and we'll take it down. Very important chips there, just accumulated. I'm going to defend the blind here, most likely. We're gonna fold on this board. Yep, we got a break. I'll be right back. Alright, gonna be back shortly. And we're off. So currently in 47th position, there's 181 players left, so half of the field are already been faded. We have a decent stack here, so we hope to do some evil things to our opponents and accumulate more chips. We'll be folding 10-3, of course. I'm going to 3-bet this hand here, King Jack against a limp of the cutoff. Could have like deuces, threes, some ace deuce, s3, which we probably can try to make him fold. And we make him fold. Strong hand, queens. This guy opens a lot, so he's going to have a very wide range, ace-x type of hands, some king jacks, some sevens, fives, fours, threes. So we're definitely going to 3-bet him here with pocket queens, very strong holding. This is going to be the last tournament of the day. We've been almost 4 hours on. And we're going to take a break and we will return later on for the rest of the session. Not a good run out of cards at the moment. 10 deuce, many other stuff, so not much to talk about it. It's going to be the last tournament of the day. Before the day that has 2 parts, so I will have some lunch, and after lunch then I will be streaming again. Very bad run out of cards that we experience now. Yeah, we have S10 here, so we might happening to do something here. I think in position we can just call with ace-10. We have less than 10 big blinds, so probably this guy is opening under the gun. It's pretty tight, but I think I have to go with his hand. Ace-10 suited. I'm going to squeeze behind him. Hopefully they fold, and we pick up a pot here. I think we're gonna need a help here. We're gonna need a lot of help. He definitely might have a pair here. Wow. Queen, spade, ace, nothing hits, and 9-10 takes it down. Wow. That is unfortunate, I guess. I mean, ace-10 is a good shove here. I got straight draws, flush draws, top pair to hit everything, and we just didn't get there. We blocked straights from 10-9 and 8. Didn't get that. Was not our day to bink that one. So I appreciate you guys being here, and we will return after lunch for another session of sit and goes. For now, we will just take a break, have some food, and after that, of course, we will return for more sit and goes. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of hours.